tasting, full-bodied.
Donde está el hombre? You are listening to Right Back At You, the 2000s pop music podcast where we have fun taking pop music seriously. Hosted by He's Got a Secret, He Cannot Keep It, David Lim, and me, queer thinking, straight talking, Joel Babington. Hello, David. How are you doing?
JB, I'm good. You're the first person I'm talking to in days. Can you believe it?
Brilliant.
Absolutely have been in my own little world, escaping to the English seaside for a few days.
Straight into our own little world.
Literally, I've been living my little Michico Latino life by the sea, you know?
Wow, well, what a perfect way to get into it. Did you have a lovely time?
It was lovely to get away, yes. How are you? How's things going?
I'm good. I'm dead busy, but that's how we like things here at Right Back At Ya. And ready for some pop-tastic fun today. Before we get into it, Davo, is there any reviews we want to read?
So, JB, there's been quite a lot of lovely responses to our last episode. As you guys know, we celebrated 10 years of Hilary Duff's Breathe In, Breathe Out. I mean, who knew that we could get down like that in the 2010s? But
I know.
There you go. Range.
Still can't believe it, the future. I'm getting back to where I like it.
Yeah.
As much as I love that album, I've been celebrating it every day for 10 years. I'm back in my safe space today.
You're back in a safe space. We're literally going to the cusp of 99, 2000. So today we are back into the 2000s for sure. But a couple of you guys have left us some very lovely comments here. This one goes, so happy this is the album you guys chose to do outside of the 2000s. Best album of the 2010s. Really liked learning more about how this album came together and your opinions on the songs. Thank you very much, Nick. Michele? Is that how you say it?
Michelle.
I just love this episode. Finally giving Breathe In, Breathe Out the recognition it deserves. Hilary was the first one embarking on MILF pop. What is MILF pop?
It's breathe in, breathe out, darling. It's Sparks. Well, I'm glad everyone was loving it as much as me. And I feel like it was really good to remind you, Davo, as well, just from a personal ambition to remind you about how brilliant Hilary Ann Earhart Duff is as a pop star. Guys, if you are loving what we're doing, please leave us a lovely 5-star review. Hit that subscribe button. Follow us at Right Back Pod on all social platforms and tell a pop-loving friend. Right, Davo, let's strap in.
Do you know what, guys? We've been wanting to... Joel and I were talking about doing a solo Spice Girls kind of foray this summer. As you know, if you've been listening to our podcast for a while, very, very early on, we did one episode, wasn't it? Or two episodes where...
Two, yeah.
We literally crammed in all the solo Spice releases. I
can't believe it.
What were we doing?
What were we thinking?
It was insane to be cramming in that many material and not letting it breathe in and breathe out.
No, absolutely.
You know, in recent years, we've come to our senses and we've decided to revisit a lot of these solo Spice albums. We're doing it bit by bit now, giving it its own episode to really luxuriate. So you and I were talking about summer. What do we want to do in terms of solo Spices, right? And Geri came up. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't mind letting our listeners know this because, you know, you guys are in on the process with us. This album wasn't the Geri album that I originally had in mind to do, right? I wanted to do Passion.
Yeah, which we all want to do Passion. You love an anniversary. We love an anniversary. We just did 10 years of Hill. But I wanted to start at the beginning again of Geri, and I want to go on that journey. And I am so ready for a GH1 summer.
And this feels like such an album that sums up the summer joy that we had when we were at school. So naturally, we have to go back to GH1.
Exactly. So why force GH3 for an anniversary when, you know, we're a podcast that every episode is an anniversary, even if it's not date specific, you know?
But I mean, if you really want to get into it, like this summer, 26 years ago, was when the Geri debut solo album era kicked off.
Oh, Davo.
So yeah, I mean, in terms of solo Spice Girls album, or actually any album for former girl group members, it really doesn't get better than Geri's era here. Like, she set the bar so high for any members going solo, didn't she, in this time?
I guess what's interesting with Geri as a pop star is, you know, like, even like us, there's no, even in our careers in the industry, there's no written path into how you do this job or how you get to this job. And all we do and know is learning on the job. So you take your experiences and how, like, each campaign you've worked on, you bring to it. So she treated a lot of this album campaign like the first two Spice Girls album launches. And they were big, and that's what she took into her solo career. And that is the energy you should bring into it.
And that is absolutely the energy. So when I think back of this time and, you know, doing this episode and all the research for it has really reminded me how precious it is. You know, you really have to take your hats off to Geri and her team for the ambition, the marketing and PR creativity, the commitment to creating unique moments for each of the 4 singles, as she said. I mean, it all really paid off. This is, out of everything that we will probably see in Geri's career, feels the most Geri. You know, every step of it, from the promos to the interview to the visuals, the creativity. It's a little bit bonkers, it's a little bit camp, but it's distinctly British as well. And that is absolutely what we got to celebrate and love.
This album and era is so Geri, as you said, definitively Geri even. But actually, when you look at it, it seems like Geri has, in a way, made a choice to strip herself back to not a blank canvas or a neutral canvas, but a neutral-ish for Geri Halliwell. And actually that the music and the creativity of everything else, the visuals, the staging, the music, be the extravagant part.
Yeah, rather than the Ginger Spice costume and persona.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. But all right, David, well, shall we go right back to 98 and start things off on this journey?
Yeah, the origin story of solo Gez. Yeah.
So sorry, everyone. We're all happy and positivity here at Right Back At Ya, but we're going to have to get sad a bit for a minute. With May 31st, 1998.
A triggering date for a lot of people.
A triggering day for us all. For me, still too soon every time this comes up. So hold my hand while we get through it, Davo.
When people make these jokes of like, oh, get well soon, Geri.
I still snap at people.
It's too soon.
Yeah,
it's still raw.
Too soon. I say, don't talk about that.
Don't bring up the war.
No,
don't mention
absolutely.
The war.
So on this day, Geri announces she's leaving the Spice Girls, and I've got in my notes here in brackets, saddest day of my life. And look, so I was born in 91, so I'm at 7 here. My mum and dad broke up when I was 5. Didn't care. No different to any other day of my life. This day when Geri left the Spice Girls, saddest day of my life. Still to this day. Crying in tears. As my mum says, and I'll always say it, she turned to my best friend's mum at the time. It's their first real loss. And Wendy Babington got it right.
It's the first real loss.
Geri's solicitor, Julian Taunton, read out a statement written by her. This is a message to the fans. Sadly, I would like to confirm that I have left the Spice Girls. This is because of differences between us. I'm sure the group will continue to be successful, and I wish them all the best. I have no immediate plans. I wish to apologise to all the fans and to thank them and everyone who's been there. Lots of love, Geri. And then the last line in pure Geraldine Estelle Halliwell fashion. P.S. I'll be back. It's like you can almost hear... Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. The next bit, Davo, is Alan Edwards on behalf of the Spice Girls.
Yes, my boss.
Your boss. The boss and your boss.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know the Spice Girls statement. That's very Mel C of me there. I didn't know that story. I didn't know the Spice Girls bit.
Did I not make all the press conference?
David, I was in tears. I don't know what was in the press.
You just heard the first bit and then that was it. Yeah.
So Alan, and not to be unprofessional or whatever, but God, 1998 Alan was quite a dish.
Oh my God, stop it.
Okay, and this is Alan as PR straight away. So before he reads it, he says it, and he's saying this for anyone recording. Okay, statement on behalf of the Spice Girls. I'm Alan Edwards. We are upset and saddened by Geri's departure, but we are very supportive in whatever she wants to do. The Spice Girls are here to stay. See you at the stadiums. We are sorry to all our fans for having to go through this. All our love, Victoria, Emma, Mel C, Mel B. Friendship never ends! ! Now that's the end of the statement, but Alan then quickly goes, pure PR, and this is what you've learned along the way. And one final thing, if I could add, there's absolutely no problems with the American tour that is going ahead as planned. Thank you very much.
Just, just to clarify, gotta let them know before you ask any follow-up questions. It's going ahead.
So, yes, there.
Oh, what a day. What a day.
What a day. What a life, David. We're all still living it. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, just to contextualize it for those of you who don't remember or, maybe we're too young to remember where this was at in the Spice Girls' career. I mean, Geri left at the height of their success. They've had 2 multi-million selling albums. They had a movie, Spice World. They were in the middle of their first world tour, the Spice World Tour. They'd just done Europe. Geri was starting to peter off in the last few dates. And they were about to start their North American leg, which is 40 dates around North America. So it's a really big deal. They've never played America before. And then suddenly this bombshell drops. So
absolutely. David,
talk about dramatique.
Spice World, and listeners, tell me if I'm wrong, Spice World, I believe, was released on VHS on May 25th. Or definitely around May if it wasn't that. Geri leaves May 31st. So we know it was in cinemas at the end of the year, but it's just come out on VHS, that green VHS, which I've mentioned on a previous episode. And then, she doesn't do the last 2 dates of the European tour. I guess Geri is when you're in that constant go, 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 go. They had these 2 weeks before the American tour. She must have said to herself, God, none of us want to be in that.
Exactly.
I can't bear it. And it's now or never.
Exactly.
This is my jump ship or never.
Yeah.
So the girls, they're pros. 2 weeks. All right, let's restage this show and let's get on that American tour.
Exactly. So not long after all this, and
one in, one out.
Hi, Alex.
Just get my cocktail. David says hello.
And not long after this moment, as Geri said, I'll be back. She really meant it. It wasn't long, was it? Because rumors start circulating that she had signed a record deal. And as it turns out, she signs a deal with EMI, reportedly worth £3 million. And it was for a 3-album deal.
Yeah, now I do wonder, because EMI, and it all comes under Virgin ultimately, or it did at that time, didn't it?
Yeah.
And look, this isn't a legal podcast, but I wonder if the Spice Girls' first deal was a 5-album deal, if they kind of reworked a side contract that was, okay, let you continue to obligate that deal, but let's do the 3 remaining solo deal there. I think that's what they did with Louise when she left Eternal.
Oh, right. Okay.
So if she had signed 5 albums, like, all right, let's continue. Because Geri in interviews of the 3rd album was like, this is my 5th album with this label, da-da-da-da-da. Anyway.
Interesting. Yeah.
3-album deal, 3 mil, 1 mil per album. We love.
We love. I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, but you know, you can absolutely, especially for this first album campaign, you can see where the money is being spent for sure.
Oh, you can absolute.
You can absolutely see. So speaking of Absolute, plans are coming together and she approaches Absolute, which is the production duo, Paul and Andy, who had worked with the Spice Girls' first 2 albums. I mean, it's a bit of a tricky situation because it is, as Geri kept saying during this time, it was like a divorce. So these guys have to basically choose whether they work with Geri or they work with the Spice Girls.
Yeah.
So the boys said, we were given a weekend to make up our minds. We chose Geri because 1, we didn't want to be put in that position by anybody. And 2, Geri, for us, was the catalyst. We'd made a lot of money from the Spice Girls and we'd reached a point where we could make our choice for artistic reasons. And we just thought it was more exciting to do Geri. We were both totally sure that working with Geri was the right thing to do. And these two, along with Jez, ended up doing the whole album together with a couple of co-writers here and there.
So when you say they had the weekend to make up their minds, it's allegedly from Camp Spice Girls when this came up. The Spice Girls said to them, okay, you've got to decide.
Yeah.
You can work with Geri or you can work with us.
Yeah. So
allegedly.
The allegedly. Yeah. The ultimatum came from the Spices. Yeah.
And then, look, it's good on the Absolute Boys. I mean, look, we love these 5 women wholeheartedly. So that would be such a tough decision because on paper, you'd probably go, okay, well, we'll stick with the girls and make another album, we'll get a few singles on it. But actually, it paid off tenfold because anyone that had worked with the Spice Girls on the first 2 albums didn't really get much on Forever, if any. Whereas Absolute, the whole album. Yeah. And actually, and in a dream thing for Geri, because it's working with someone you're comfortable with.
And as we know with Geri, she's an ideas person. So you got these 2 producers that are very used to the way she works, the way she articulates her ideas, is able to kind of hone in all those pieces and piece it together to something that works. That's a dream team. And
you could just imagine there's chats, like say on one paper you go, okay, well, we could do a 3rd Spice Girls album, get a couple of tracks on it, could be brilliant. And then you can go, but hey, we've worked with Geri in this situation. Imagine what it's like when it's just her doing full creativity to the max and the 3 of us working on it. What kind of stuff could we come up with? And then that, you can imagine that
sounds
sparking
like
in you and just getting excited and being like, sod it, let's go for it.
Let's go for it.
Scream if you want to go faster. That's for another day. So yeah, magic is happening behind the scenes. But 1998, while everyone thinks it was a very quiet time for Geri, there were some notable appearances. I think most notably for us and our audience, 1998 MTV Video Music Awards.
Oh, wow.
Geri Halliwell presents Madonna with Video of the Year. That's such a good look, especially if you're like, you've left the biggest band, you haven't done an American tour, the American tour, which we know we'll hear going forward how Geri will keep on apologising for that and how much she loves America and wants to be there. I'm not doing many appearances, but I'm going to show up here and I'm going to present the Queen of Pop an award.
Yeah.
That's really just setting you up best foot forward, isn't it?
Madonna and Geri together. I mean, that is iconic.
Absolutely. And in the rest of 98, she did perform a Marilyn Monroe-esque version of Happy Birthday in October 1998.
for Prince Charles.
For Prince Charles'
King
birthday.
Charles now, yeah.
King Charlie now, but we are in 1998. David, please respect the time. And also in December 98, both Who and People magazine listed Geri as one of their top 25 most intriguing people of the year.
Good on you, Gezza. I mean, can't even imagine what it must be like in the eye of the storm. But in case you're wondering, you don't need to wonder too hard because during this period, Geri decided to start filming herself and have a documentary maker follow her immediately after she leaves the Spice Girls. Like literally the day after, right? The Molly Dineen documentary begins.
Ginger Spice, that is more like Savvy Spice. So yes, absolutely. I believe straight away she was filming herself and getting her brother to film some bits of her. And
I mean, this was a time before vlogs, you know. Geri was ahead of the curve.
It says Molly was having meetings with Geri and the Spice Girls when Geri was still part of the band. That's how this connection happened. This happened. Molly's an acclaimed director. They went off and created this documentary together, which we then saw Geri during all of this. And I mean, how fascinating. And thank goodness Geri is the way that she is, that she did allow us to capture this time in history so we can look back. The me that was crying my heart out now as a grown man can be like, this is fascinating to see.
Yeah. It's a point where you start to empathize with Geri because there was so much written in the press and she didn't have a right of reply straight away with a lot of these things, you know. She was in hiding. I just think it's a very fascinating time capsule, you know, of just seeing her desperately lonely and vulnerable at this time, but still being so stoic, you know. She's rebuilding her team because she's basically now managing herself. She's out on her own. And we're also, very interestingly with this documentary, we're beginning to see the kind of battle between the control of her image and her also wanting to show herself to be more vulnerable to the audience, which is, I mean, this is pre-reality TV, pre-social media. It was just so fascinating to see what it was like through her lens in 98, 99.
Yeah, absolutely. And then if this wasn't such a Geri move in and of itself, it then airs on TV. It premieres first time ever anywhere. Channel 4, May 5th, 1999. 5 days ahead of the release of her debut solo single, Look at Me.
Well played.
Yeah, and I was thinking about it because, you know, acclaimed film director, interesting it didn't do any film festivals or cinematic release, but no, this needs to get on primetime TV to get as many eyes on it as possible.
Exactly. This is not Tribeca audience. She's trying to reach the Spice fans and just be like, I want to reconnect with you. That was the point.
Now, when you look back at reports, Geri and the media herself talking about why it took so long, I'm looking at this now and where we're thinking and going, that is such a quick time when you've jumped out of a whirlwind. A year to establish and figure out who you are as an artist.
But this is Geri. This is the Spice Girls. We see how driven all 5 of these women were. You got to stay in the public eye. You know, there was no kind of taking time off and trying to be mysterious or whatever. Like, they were gunning for attention and staying relevant. So Geri played it very well. Boy, what a way to do it with this single.
And speaking of what a way to do it, Geri kicked off the Look at Me campaign and the Schizophonic campaign with a 8-day global promo tour where she
even
told
before
the
the
world,
single's out.
Even before the single's out, just like, I'm here, I'm back. She's in that Look at Me cover outfit for a lot of it, so all black and the little pink mini cardigan. She's in TRL with Carson. Much Music. In Canada, they have an hour special live interview with Geri.
Oh, wow.
They showed clips from Miami Spice, the Spice Girls documentary, of the girls reacting to Geri just leaving and then asking Geri her opinion on it. I'm like, whoa.
Wow.
Too far. But it was a really positive show, filled with a room full of fans, and she loved it. There was so much love in the room. Milan, London, obviously, global. Geri is here. This is why this is saying this is big. And at this point, so in America and Canada, she's just saying so much about how she wishes she could have done the tour and apologizes for not being there. But all at this point, they're saying, give us a bit of the single. They can't show the video or anything yet. So she's just going, well, it sort of goes like this. Look at me, shimmy, shimmy, shake it, shake it.
Look at me. You can take it all because this face is free. Maybe next time use your eyes.
JB, I have to ask you, what were your first impressions of Look at Me?
I loved it instantly. I honestly think Geri could have given us anything at this point, and I would have loved it. I loved it then, and I've loved it nonstop. I think it's the Geri version of a wannabe.
Right. It's a statement single, for sure.
Very Marmite, very dramatic, very theatrical. It could only be the first single.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can't do as a third single, say, look at me. You have to
No.
say, I'm back, I'm here, look at me.
I mean, I must say, the first time I heard it, I just thought, wow. It sounds like nothing that's on the radio, but also it really makes sense for her to do it because I think as a Spice fan, especially having had the second Spice Girls album, you started to see more retro influences in that one, like songs like Too Much or songs like Ladies a Vamp. And somehow when she comes out with this kind of Shirley Bassey-esque jazzy number, it didn't shock me. And it really suits her voice.
Absolutely. She played to all her strong suits.
Who would think to do this style of music if your primary audience is teenagers and kids, you know? Go for it, Geri. Yeah.
Geraldine Estelle, that's who. And I love that because it's the song and campaign's doing two things. It's one, having the titular look at me, saying Geri's back, here she is, look at me, everyone. But then it has that deeper meaning to it and saying, okay, I've made you look, but this is what I'm actually saying with it.
It kind of pokes fun a little bit about the superficiality of celebrity culture. You know, she's saying in the press, I'm saying, look at me, but really beneath all the facade and everything, really look at me.
And this is the first time, yes, people that have seen her in the odd appearances, MTV, doing the UN stuff, but actually Geri does look very different. Not the big red hair, not the platform boots.
According to Absolute, Geri already had the idea for the video. Even before the song was finished, she told them she's going to kill Ginger Spice in the middle. So that's why they came up with that dramatic bridge part, because they knew it was building to a particular moment in her vision.
So let's get into the
video.
Music video.
Oh, stunning. A classic, a masterpiece.
This is classic. This is. So we have, directed by Vaughan Arnell, filmed in Prague and London. This perfect mix of Geri with fire and confidence, creativity, arty, cinematic, camp, comedy, all in mainstream pop. It features Geri as 4 characters: a vamp, a bitch, a virgin, and a sister. By a sister, that's not are you the mam, are you the sister, it's a nun. And as you said, David, it also depicts the funeral of Ginger Spice, which I do think is absolutely genius.
But a tad probably triggering for the younger fans.
Yeah, I mean, I remember not being upset about it at the time. I think I was excited by the acknowledgement.
The kind of pantoness about it, yeah.
I'd love to say I got what she was doing, but I wasn't an extremely intelligent 7-year-old. I just loved it. For something that is bright and in your mind so colourful, it's bold to do a black and white music video.
Absolutely. So yeah, shout out to the director, Vaughan Arnell, who actually worked with the Spice Girls, did the Say You Be There video, also did loads of George Michael videos, Fast Love, Outside, and also loads of Robbie Williams videos. Can we do a Look at Me walking tour in Prague? Like someone, please. You know, she's got the main train station in one scene. They've got the streets of Malastrana. I need a Lonely Planet guide to all the stops.
Look, Prague, we are available. Because what it could be as well is you do this walking tour, but the bride could be there and you see them from the back. The nun could be there. The vamp could be strutting around. And
which one do you want to be?
The bitch. I want to be the bitch. Well, no, you're the bitch. No, you're not a bitch. You're not a bitch, but you are she's a PR woman, as Joey said. That is you. So you have first refusal if you want to take a day off and play something else. But obviously, that is you, so you can do that.
JB, I must say, I notice, probably for the first time watching this video, that she saves the choreo until the very end. I didn't even notice that there wasn't really a dance routine until the last chorus bit, because we're so taken in by
there's so
the
much
characters.
Going on. So, shall we talk about some performances, Davo? I do want to say in general, it did feel like Geri really enjoyed singing the line, old feeling, new beginning. Like, that was the bit that always gave her, like, a bit of, like...
Oh, what about
extra.
queer thinking, straight talking?
She loved that. She loved all of that, but that's more like, like, oh, like, to the room, like, we love it. That's like panto, as you say.
Yeah, but she's always playing with the male dancers when she's doing that, pointing at them.
Whereas old feeling, new beginning, it was like she had a message to get across. And this is how what we've done for 7 years, is overanalyzing these things. So if you ask Joe, she probably was like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I mean, I thought you were going to say this is what we've been doing for 7 years, giving old feelings a new beginning.
Well, we have,
on the podcast.
So I want to go straight off the back with, it was a brand new one for me. It was the Nickelodeon Big Birthday Bash. So I
don't know
was
this one.
No, and there's some live vocals in here. It was a big outdoor, you know, on these like American MTV, Nick, these stuff, big outdoor stuff.
All the American stuff I've seen her do, they're live vocals.
It's not.
Oh,
it's a pre-record. It's a mix.
Oh,
Anytime, look, I love it and go for it. There's an old trick in the book there. The first few lines live, fade in, do a track that could sound live. There's a lot of stuff going on there. She does it excellently, and those vocals are there. It's her vocals. So this is not me taking anything away from anyone.
They were live at one point, yeah.
Exactly. And there are some that, yes, as you say, are live, but there's also a lot of like, let's get it here to do a good performance. But what I loved is this one on the mic, the track ended, she went, America, I love you, and it's great to be back.
She was very on the charm offensive when she was in America. I was watching the Rosie O'Donnell show, even before Rosie asked her the first question. Just straight off the back, she just issues an apology to the American fans for pulling out on the tour. I had my reasons for leaving, but I hope you'd accept me the way I am now. And then also when she's selling the album, like, I just admire this woman so much. She's such a great PR machine. Do you know what? Every woman in America is going to relate to my album. You know when you PMS and you get these mood swings and then she just goes on this tangent and she's like, you're going to want to dance around the living room in your underwear listening to this.
And I do, Geri. But yeah, Geri there again is in the music video and single cover outfit. That was... in the Rosie interview, she says this is her first live performance in the US on that TV show. It was the day before the album came out in the States. And yeah, I also loved the TRL interview, but that was in April, which I spoke about earlier.
Yeah, as a teaser.
And there's all the screaming audience outside. You could tell how much everywhere Geri went, she loved seeing how much love there still was for Geri.
Yeah, of course it must be really scary for her, you know, because as she said a couple of times in interviews, she felt like, oh, do I still have a career? Have I lost all my fans? So to have that reassurance must be lovely, especially at this point in the first single.
And then I'd never seen this one before, Davo. Jay Leno, let's stay in America. Jay Leno, black leather outfit, ready to be in an action movie.
Now
and
this
the curls.
I wonder if this is the same black leather jacket and trousers that she wore to the HMV signing of Lift Me Up, where she had the long, straight hair extensions. Yep. Clocked.
But why the hell not?
I'd
be wearing that to the shops. I'd be wearing that every day if I pulled that off.
But I remember looking at that performance and thinking, this leather outfit is not very look at me.
She's giving a bit of like sex for America and Jay Leno.
Sex puss, yeah.
She's giving sex puss. And we'll get to sex puss in a bit, but you know, Rosie O'Donnell, she's like, here I'm your approachable
girl next door.
She's sitting
cross-legged. Cross-legged, but sex puss for Jay Leno.
Jay Leno sex puss. In this, and then the Spanish promo, the guy introducing her just in his accent, it was really funny. He introed her, and when he introed her, it sounds like he says, Geri Halliwell.
I mean, all our dads have made that mistake.
Absolutely.
I remember the early days, my dad was calling Geri like Geri.
Which they even joked about in Spice World. But Davo, let's go back to home territory. Top of the pops. We got everything I love here in this performance.
Stairs. You love stairs. It's a little one, but it's there.
Oh, it's there, and that's all that matters. Do you think it's because I grew up in a bungalow?
Yeah.
So now anytime I see stairs, I'm like, that's glamour.
Yeah.
That is unachievable.
But there's something very, I don't want to again use the P word that you don't like, panto, but there's something very British theatre about
Extravagance. There's theatrical. Don't get panto and theatrical twisted.
Okay. revokes my citizenship test. Yeah.
Stairs, full band, dancers. Everything's there. Elaborate. Oh, and the real star of the show, Chaise Lounge.
By the way, the Chaise Lounge goes with her to Italy when she does Festival Bar Italy.
Imagine getting that on EasyJet. Jet 2.
Yeah, Jet 2. But it really is so tightly choreographed. You know, I think especially for Geri's first performance as a solo artist, you really want to fill out the stage. You know, you don't want to leave her vulnerable to do choreography because that was never her strongest suit. She can hella perform, but, you know, you need the production that goes with it. So I think if you're going on top of the pops with a full band, dancers, props, you're telling the British public, we have production. Look out for the tour. She's coming.
Absolutely. I just want to say, notably, aside from performances, in 2012, this was featured in the Spice Girls jukebox musical, Viva Forever, one of only 2 solo tracks in the musical. The other being Melanie C's I Turn to You.
Oh, I bet Mel B was like, what about Perdido?
I'll do a whole LA State of Mind musical in and of itself. Just call me Mel. I am ready.
Yeah, exactly. That is.
Whenever we talk about solo Spice episodes, I'm like, LA State of Mind revisited. Like, I'm ready.
Do you remember there was an anniversary for that album earlier this year, and we were like, LA State of Mind?
I'm in an LA State of Mind constantly since 2005. Anyway, that's another episode and day. But yeah, love that for Gezza. Big, get that placement in the Spice Girls musicale. So Davo, there are no B-sides for this because...
Who needs it?
Well, who needs it? But also...
No, but I mean, we always need B-sides. We always need B-sides. But for the first single, people are going to buy it anyway, mate.
People are going to buy it, but I think there wasn't enough time for a CD 1 and 2. Like, this is all there was to go because...
Oh, really? There was no CD 2?
No, there was no CD 2. This is the whole thing. There was just the one CD.
With the postcards, which I have in my living room on display. Yeah.
But she wouldn't have done this. But do you know what would have been really cool? Is you could have done the one CD, the main CD, and then 4 limited editions. And
of all the different characters.
Of all the different characters.
The
so
nun,
CD...
the bitch.
Yeah, exactly. So CD could be Geri, and then 4 limited editions.
Well, JB, where were you back in 99? Because that idea could have gotten this song to number 1.
I don't think anyone was listening to
an 8-year-old.
In Romford, 7-year-old me storming into the meeting room. Where's the single for the bitch? The vamp. This song was released the same week as Boyzone's You Needed Me here in the UK. Though more transactions were made of Geri's single, the 2 CD singles of You Needed Me, they had a CD 1 and 2.
Oh.
Ensured that they got number 1, even though it was only 748 copies between them.
And do you know what's interesting? For the rest of this campaign that we'll talk about today, Geri's never made that mistake again.
Never.
There's always been CD 1 and 2 for the next few singles.
Absolutely. Well, let's not make it let's not say mistake.
Also, while you're talking about chart debuts, this is how insane that week was, guys. The top 3 were all new entries in the UK. Boyzone, as you said, number 1. Geri, number 2. Guess what was number 3? Shania fucking Twain. That don't impress me much.
Yeah.
That is an insane week.
But yeah, so Geri here in the UK sold 140,000 copies in the first week, which is monumental.
Not everybody has that.
And then eventually Gold with 400,000 shipments. Davo, it's her 4th biggest selling solo single here in the UK. 3 in Australia, and I know you were still in Malaysia at this point, but thank you, David.
I kind of have moved over by this point. I remember...
I thought it was 2000.
No.
Not me trying to rewrite the history of your life. I'm ghostwriting your memoir right now, and I've got it down as 2000.
It was 99 that we moved over, and I remember being in primary school, and yeah, people were buzzing about Geri.
There you go. You got off the airport, you bought that CD, you said, we need that top 3. I don't know what an Arias is yet, but we got it. 3 in Canada. Thank you, Canada.
Thank you, Adam.
5 on the Eurochart Hot 100. 4 in Greece. 4 in Hungary. 3 in Ireland. 1 in New Zealand. We love you, New Zealand.
Oh, wow. A number 1 smash in New Zealand.
And 12 on the US dance club songs. Gold in Australia, gold in Sweden, gold here in the UK.
So we're assuming that this didn't get like an official single release in America?
Radio only in America.
And obviously the dance remixes for the gays.
Yeah.
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 Duh.
You know, it's like what you do. So let's continue. Summer of Geri has kicked off. Let's go into June 99, the debut solo album, Schizophonic, a word that Geri has made up herself.
I actually thought it was really genius. Immediately I got the reference to schizophrenia and the word phonic. I was like, oh, okay, so she's going for like a split sound. So I really love the title. I thought it was really bold, really unique. And do you know what else I loved? The 2 different album covers.
Fan-bloody-tastic.
The Angel and the Devil. Genius.
She's not putting anyone out. It's a reversible cover. Look, listeners, do tell us if it's different. As far as I'm aware, it's the white was the cover, the main cover. But in my household, the red was the cover.
Oh, saucy. Bit sexy.
So do you remember my mum's friend that I told you when I had this Spice World VHS in green? I'd show her.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't give a fuck, but I'm like, look at this. And she's, oh, that's lovely, that green VHS. Oh, that's brilliant. I showed her, I'm like, you got to look at this Geri CD cover because there's 2 covers. And she's like, oh, that's brilliant. Like an angel and a devil. Oh, that's brilliant. That is. Just me as like the Avon of the Spice World. Now available, double-sided cover.
Listen, EMI should have sent you door to door. Have you seen this bitch CD?
Have you considered that you might have schizophonica?
Oh my God, I absolutely love it. And JB, this is a safe space, as we always say on the podcast. I didn't go and buy this album, but I did see it in the local libraries.
Oh my God.
The local library strikes again. Monash Library strikes again.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service to piracy. So I went and...
I mean, look, quickly, what did they think we were going to do if you borrowed a CD from the library? You're not going to listen to it once and give it back, are you? You're going to put it on a tape or back it up on your computer.
Well, not everyone thinks like us. Not everyone's a thief and a felon. Some of these old biddies
Lock me up and throw away the key, man.
Some of these old biddies just want to play it for a week in their car and then return it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for that Schizophonic album. Yeah, the devil version.
That's the brand that covers the 2 types of people at the library.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the first time I actually noticed that it was a dual cover when I picked it up there.
Everyone questioned why it took so long. As we've already spoken about, a year is not long
It's
at all.
not long,
but as
no.
how fast-paced this was. So Geri said, everything I've done, I've always done passionately, with all my heart and soul. I
Your
didn't want
Geri
to leave
voice.
the Spice Girls and immediately have a record out on the back of that. That's why I've waited. I wanted to find out who I am, weigh up what I wanted to project, and get a structure and game plan it all.
I definitely believe the structure and game plan part of this. I think it really feels like Geri is still privately figuring out and developing her identity outside of Ginger Spice. And that's okay. But what she's done here, she's giving you the pop star version of a metamorphosis. So, you know, you've
I think last episode's artist gave us the pop star version of a metamorphosis.
But, you know, she has the familiarity of Ginger Spice in here, but with a much more diverse musical palette. What I find really funny, and this is such a Geri quote, "What's your album like, Geri? It's a cross between Julie Andrews and Johnny Rotten."
Yeah.
What?
That's how G.
There's enough razzle-dazzle here, I feel, to kind of distract us from wanting to look deeper. There's girl power, there's battle of the sexes, there's consumerism, celebrity culture kind of commentary in there in a way that's very Geri. It's veggies wrapped up in chocolate.
I thought there was maybe more girl powder than power, but again, we'll get to that. I just want to say, this album, and re-listening to it and retaking it all in like we do for this, it just took me straight back to, I bought this, I begged to have this album straight
You weren't
away
going to
in
library, no.
1999. I wasn't going to the library. This had to be in our household. And I just remember this summer in 1999, pop was so exciting. It was such an incredible time to be a child because pop music was, like, 1999 was definitively like why we're doing what we are doing.
Britney, S Club 7.
Steps, you know, it was just Y2K boom of pop. And my mum had this, like, we didn't really have a car for most of my childhood, and this was actually the last time we ever had a car onwards. And we didn't need a car. We had buses, we had trains, whatever, we walked. But this summer we drove around in this beaten old car, this banger that my mum had, but I thought it was the most glamorous thing ever because it had a CD player in it.
Oh, yes.
And we would just drive around this summer in this beaten old banger, listening to this Geri album. And literally getting it, had to put it on, driving around in it. Classic, Look at Me's the only one I know, so we put that on repeat for a while and then we listened to the whole album. That summer was the first time I ever went to dance class for the first time as a kid.
Oh.
So I begged to go to the little dance school down the road that my sister Kylie went to. And it was in Essex, where it was in Romford, Essex. It was such a undone thing to do, you know, especially where I grew up as a young boy. You can't go to dance class. It was very oh, no, you don't do that. But I begged to go, and I didn't even think twice about it that it wasn't the thing you don't do. It was just I want to do this so much. So I begged to go. And I was the only boy at this little dance school, me and all these girls. And looking back, I really do think it was the power of Geri and the Spice Girls as a collective that gave me that courage of be who you are and just go for it. And they all just go hand in hand for me, as it was just such a special time to be a kid. So yeah, it was really lovely to just take this all in and be oh yeah, you know, because at this time it's before you're still young enough to just be go for what you're interested in before any other thoughts or other people's opinions creep in. So yeah, I just didn't
there
give
was no
two
social
Fs
media. There was no, you know, discourse and online community and stuff like that. So, you know, it was so pure in your interest in the girls, and it bled on to interest in Geri's music and all the other girls' solo projects.
And actually, I've just memory unlocked, and it was a very Geri move. Because I think Kylie brought home the flyer of like, so this dance school would do like a little summer school.
Oh no, here we go. We're going to hear about the audition.
No, it wasn't an audition. I think she brought home the flyer.
You skipped a bunch of people and you got into top 10.
Well, actually, no, in a real Geri move. But anyway, the flyer said on it, thank God Miss Yvonne, her name was the dance teacher. She put on it, and see, look, she's marketing, only girls went there, but she put on the flyer, girls and boys welcome. Because she's a progressive lady. She's a dance teacher.
Inclusive.
Even if no one did. So I said, boys, I'm going. Like, no question. Like, grabbed it. That's me, that is. Da-da-da-da-da. And then where I'm the only boy, we did Annie for that summer school. I got to play Daddy Warbucks.
Is that sorry, I'm not a music.
Oh, David Lim.
Is that a main
It's the
role?
male lead. That's who Orphan Annie. He adopts Orphan Annie.
Oh, okay.
Annie may have been older than me, but I was
Daddy
Warbucks.
Power of the Spices.
And that's the power of the Spices, all 5 of them. But then, especially the power of Gezza. Absolutely.
I love this. Oh my God, that's so precious. So precious. So you're listening to Schizophonic with your mum, your sisters in a car. Were there any album tracks that stood out? Because you were listening to it even before it was being told to you that these are the singles.
Yeah. So the one that captured us completely, it was actually track 10, You're in a Bubble, we'd put on repeat, because I'd never heard anything like this before in my life.
It was avant-garde music. Yeah.
Yeah. This was art. I'd come to Rumford. Me and Kylie, I think we were just so like, what is going on here? But we loved it.
Narcissistic, 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 narcissistic.
Were you shouting at each other, narcissistic, narcissistic, narcissistic?
I think I didn't even know what that word was. I was just like, what is she going on about? And we loved it because where she says, call the police, but it sounded like she was saying to us, call up police, which is one of our other sisters' names. So we were just like, what is she going on about? But yeah, we were just like, and I think we just do like little dances to it, like starting on the floor, like, you're in a bubble. Da, 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 da. Yeah, that was the one. That was the album track for us. More just in like a brilliant what the fuck kind of way.
This is the one that gives me the most flashbacks to the first Spice Girls album. You know, you think about the energy of If You Can't Dance.
Yes.
I mean, dare I say, a lot of the verses here, I'm like, I can hear Mel B and Geri going back and forth. Really, this is such a Spice Girls song. So maybe that's probably why you also resonated with it, apart from the fact that it's such a funny lyrical piece.
Yeah, she did say, what is interesting, Geri in the interviews at the time, she said, you know, a lot of these songs I did write while I was still with the Spice Girls, but I don't know how true. It would be interesting to know now if she would still say that.
There could have just been lyrics in her journal.
Yeah.
As lyric ideas, you know. And we know she would have had
I'm
loads.
assuming that's what she meant, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, what a fascinating piece of pop art there. She starts the album with Look at Me. She ends with You're in a Bubble. It's bookended by these 2 songs that seem to be commentary about fame and the way it feeds the ego.
But this song could really, like, have a resurgence for life today.
Yeah.
Like, everyone, you're in a bubble, like, the world of social media, everyone's an effing narcissist. Like,
maybe this is the next Geri song that could have a TikTok
go viral,
moment.
yeah.
Now that we've started talking about album highlights, I'm just so curious about what your mum liked. Were there any Wendy faves?
I think
Wendy's a lift me up person.
Yeah.
Am I
Lift
right?
Me Up just does fit in with this summer so much. It's the track for driving around with, isn't it?
I mean, Geri's actually driving in it, but we'll talk about it when we get to the
But
single.
we'll talk about it when we get there. But look, you've got this album from the library. What stood out to you?
JB, I love a bit of a jazzy moment. Goodnight Kiss.
I ain't sleeping.
my head, I've been thinking something's left unsaid. And in the morning,
I think, back in the day with TV, they would allow you to do an album track here and there, right? And it's always really interesting.
Especially if you're like a priority act.
Exactly. And it's always very interesting to me to see which album tracks artists choose to do. So Goodnight Kiss was the one that got a bit of a love there. I think for fans of Too Much, you're going to really love this. You can really see that
100%.
kind of Bond theme panache. Gezza's there, full jazz orchestra. It is Geri Halliwell at Ronnie Scott's.
It's like whenever you listen to the more jazzy numbers, like the moments of Look at Me and this, I see that visual of her from the Too Much video performing this song, the white dress, the big hair, that big like mic.
I think that's a very quintessential Geri aesthetic, especially knowing that she loves a bit of old Hollywood. So you can definitely see that reference there. So like you said, she performed this on TV a couple of times. You said Top of the Pops. There's one on Much Music, which is the Canadian show, right? Much Music. So she's lying there on top of a grand piano, long fitted black dress, very chic. We love her laying on top of the piano, giving you a chanteuse moment.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, there'd be nothing that matches that on JB1, but I'd still give you that visual for some kind of performance. I'd make it happen.
You got to do it for Brasseries Adele, yeah.
Yeah. All seats taken, strip back.
Yeah, exactly. What other highlights for you, JB?
Well, Davo, I think we have to talk about track 3, Walk Away.
Very significant.
Significant. Now, this song is the autobiographical number about her leaving the Spice Girls. Very interesting that it's in track 3 because that it's placed as track 3, because in my mind it was an album closer or somewhat near towards the end of the album, but actually you look at it, track 3, and you can tell it's a very strategic placement, straight in with like the narrative possible press pickup.
walk away this time with my head up high. Walk away, just me and myself. Walk away.
This is like such a powerful, poignant ballad for Geri to produce for her debut solo album. The lyrics here: walk away this time with my head up high. Walk away, just me and myself. Walk away with pride, nothing left to hide. But it just feels right to be one and just walk away. Ooh.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish, actually, looking back, and look, I wasn't anywhere near mature enough yet. This should have been the song my mum connected to. This should have been the women empowerment anthem. But actually, for me, David, it was in this preparation for this episode where I've really properly connected to this song. It's been a real treat every time this has come on, and it comes on a lot when I'm walking to or from work, and I'm just like, in that moment, I am Geri, or I am in that end of Act 1 moment, and it's just... I find it really... this is the one that you really stop and listen to all the lyrics to, and...
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. It's like Geri at the proms, but with... You know, she's got such a story to tell here.
Well, it's interesting that you said that, because the bit that really grabs me is actually the instrumentation of this song. You know, you really do get a sense that I love the Absolute producers purely because of what they've done for the Spice Girls, but you really want to see what Absolute can do, listen to the Geri Halliwell album, because the range of different musicalities that they go through to fulfill Geri's vision is astonishing. Orchestral strings, you can even hear accents of flutes. Like, this really is Geri at the proms.
It is that magic that we then see with Girls Aloud and Xenomania, that it's everyone just doing their best work because they all work together constantly.
And it doesn't need to sound the same.
And it's you know, it's eclectic. There's a lot going on. It's not hitting that same one note for 10 tracks for 3 albums.
Yeah. I think there's such freedom when you know that you're doing an album with an artist and you have 10 tracks to do, and there's no pressure to be like, oh, I'm only brought in here to do a single. So I have to deliver something that sounds radio friendly or something that's single worthy. You're not competing with anyone else but yourself. So you actually get to tell more of a story within the spectrum of 10 songs or more. So yeah, to your point with Xenomania, to your point with Absolute and Geri, I think this is why they really flourished here. So JB, just one very last one from me. I know it's a special song for Geri. Someone's Watching Over Me, one of the last ballads on the album. Now this one's written by Geri for her late father. And it actually wasn't until I read the lyrics today that really sunk in that how personal these words are. You know, bear in mind, Geri is at this point, 26, turning 27 when this album's out this summer. So young to have lost her father already. And, you know, she lost her father before the Spice Girls. So, you know, I think there was still a lot of stuff that she was piecing together. There was a grieving process that she never got to do properly because the Spice Girls took off. So we're now seeing parts of her healing with this album, and especially on this song. Lyrics like, "You said I'd always be your little girl, thought that would last forever, but you left me in this grown-up world. I had to pull myself together. You left a girl with a hungry mind. I'm still learning and I'm still waiting. All of my answers I need to find."
Someone's watching over me. Though sometimes I wish that you would look away from me. Always watching over.
So this debuted at number 4 here in the UK album charts, David. 35,000 copies in its first week. It's sold 483. So it's sold over 483,000 copies, certifying 2 times platinum. And then in Canada, it debuted at number 15. And in the US, it peaked at number 42 with 40,000 copies in its first week, making it the strongest solo album outing from a Spice Girl solo thus far. 22 in Australia, if only you hadn't got it from the library. 10 on the European albums charts, 8 in Greece. Thank you, Greece. And yeah, only a number, this is what I found really interesting, 85 in Japan with only 3,190 copies in its first week. Needed more of a Japan push.
Needed more of a Japan push for sure. So, Joel, I was actually looking at the back of the CD after you mentioned the devil and the angel denotations on the track listing. She really does do that. I don't know how I've missed this. But
very clever. So many details
very
the
deliberate.
whole way through.
The girlies and gays would get it. She didn't need to explain. She's like, I'm just going to highlight these in a different font color.
So Summer of Geri continued, and it continued strong, David. On the 4th of July, 1999, Geri performed at Party in the Park in Hyde Park alongside the likes of S Club, Steps, Martine McCutcheon, Boyzone. Big event.
Huge.
But Geri's
yeah.
set, it was Barefoot in the Park with Geri, and she did a big, wonderful performance.
How many songs was it? 3.
Oh yeah, it was Machiko Latino, Look at Me, Bag It Up.
There you go.
So yeah, that's
She's giving it to you.
There you go. Okay. Right, guys, we are going to pause the journey of celebrating Geri here because there's so much to dive into. We are splitting this into 2 parts. So, guys, you have been listening to Right Back At You, the 2000s pop music podcast. Part 2 is coming very, very soon. But follow us at Right Back Pod on all social platforms. Email our hearts, rightbackpod@gmail.com. And you can follow me at Dr_Joel B. And you can follow him at
Love Limmy.
See you very soon. Bye. Bye. Bye.
It's important to learn to laugh at ourselves. Don't take life too seriously.
You're in a bubble. The money's just